What's up, everyone? Casual Talk here. It's going to be a quick video. Rent is on the rise. For any one of you who is living on their own, if you're a renter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this could be affecting some homeowners as well, depending on where you live. But I'm just going to keep it real. Don't listen to everything that you hear on social media. Take it with a grain of salt. Social media is notorious for taking individuals or taking an area that is going through the exact same crisis, the exact same situation, and they flip it on the audience saying things like, oh, it's happening everywhere. They don't say it directly, they say it indirectly. Like, and then they put in the titles, like the news reporters will put in the titles like, oh, the rent is rising in cities in California. Rent is rising in cities in New York City. Rent is rising in all major cities. It's not every major city. Many parts in America. And I live in the state of South Carolina. For any one of you who is new to this video, I used to live in New York. I lived in upstate New York. I eventually moved down to South Carolina with my family, okay? And we thought at first, hey, it's gonna be cheaper down here. Everything's gonna be the same, and things is just gonna remain how they are. No, that is not the case. The nice places, the places that are very nice, convenient, where it comes down to schools, gas stations, stores that are close by you, those places, those areas, the rent is increasing. The rent is increasing. I've been renting out the same house since my wife and I first moved down from North Charleston, South Carolina to Somerville, South Carolina. We've been living and renting at the same house for about 2 years. Next year is going to be 3. And I just gotten a notice not too long ago that our landlord is deciding to increase the rent. And I'm just goes to show you, I'm gonna just give you an estimate. I was paying around $1,800 a month. $1,800 a month on rent. 3 bedroom, 2.5 baths. Okay? The square foot of the home is about roughly between 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. Backyard, front parking lot. Okay? And it's a 2-door garage, so I have the space. Top and bottom house. It went from $1,800 a month, around that, bumping it up to $2,000 and $100,000 a month. So, give or take, just to give you guys an estimate, my rent went up over $200. Now I have to pay $200 extra in rent. This is why I said saving your money is very important. A lot of people are not saving. A lot of people wants to live above their means. They want to go on vacation. They want to be in massive debt. Oh, the lifestyles. I want to do this and this and that. That's the reason why. Take what social media says with a grain of salt. Take what social media is saying with a grain of salt, because everywhere is getting expensive. The nice areas is getting expensive. The cheaper areas, all the time, cheap is not good. Cheap could mean it's a bad neighborhood. Now these days, living in a cheap area, it can mean a blessing, or it could be a sketchy neighborhood. Or it's a neighborhood where it's peaceful, it's safe, but it's inconvenient. A lot of people does not want to live in that area. The reason why, most of the time, some places, some apartments or houses are very cheap in the rent. The area is not trending. It's in the suburbs. There's not much going on. There's not that much traffic. It's very far. It's more car dependent. There's not much to do. That's going to also affect the cost of the rent. And my rent just went up. My rent just went up. I'm not making this video to complain. I already got a plan. My wife and I, we're not planning to stay down here in South Carolina for the rest of our lives. I already got a plan. And that's what men do. Men don't complain. Men keeps things real. And if you're a single woman or a single man, you have to keep it real with yourself. My job that I'm doing, my 9 to 5, is not going to keep up with the cost of living. People wants to burn their behinds doing 3 jobs. I understand it's for you to get to where you need to be, but you don't have to sell yourself up to do this for the rest of your life. Social Security, they're not even going to be willing to pay you as much to keep up with your rent. That's why I made videos about being a homeowner. How people should invest in being a homeowner. You save more depending on the home, depending on your credit, depending on the career that you have. I was paying around $1,800 a month. Now I'm paying around $2,100,000 now. That's over a $200 increase. And on top of that, I just got a notice as well. On top of the rent being increased, everybody under the property company, we are now obligated to pay a $50 additional fee if you have a pet. For each pet that you have, you're paying an extra $50 to go on top of your rent. Things is becoming more expensive. It's not just California, Los Angeles, Florida, Miami, Atlanta, Georgia, New York City. It's not just New York City. It's not Austin, Texas. That's just those cities are just the cherry on the top. I live in Summerville, South Carolina. Everywhere in Summerville is not nice. You have the good neighborhoods and you have the bad neighborhoods. You have to know where you're moving. That's why I push people to tell people things like, get your driver's license. If you don't have a car, push yourself to get your driver's license so you can have more options and opportunities to where if you have to move somewhere, you have the option to live in a suburb. Because at least you have a car. And don't stick to one car. Get 2 cars if you have to. Have a backup vehicle. 3 cars maximum if you're able to afford it. Other than that, you have to always have a A, B, and C plan. You can't just have an A plan and when things get rough, you look stupid. You're stuck. You don't know what to do. Mommy and daddy's not going to be here forever. Your best friends. Nobody's not going to be here forever. At some point in life, you cannot depend on nobody but you. It's me, my wife, and our two kids. And now we have 2 cats. I already gotta work a 9 to 5. Yes, I work in a hospital. Yes, I'm doing an essential job. I make about $3,000 a month, but that's before taxes. After taxes is a different case. And this is an essential job, working at a hospital as an environmental services cleaner. Me and my wife are both in college. We're both in school trying to grind, get ourselves together. Now, I'm in a position where I have to save a lot more be more strict with the money that I got, and I have to think of ways to make money every now and then, like do side gigs, because I'm definitely not doing Uber or DoorDash again. For me personally, I'd rather do side jobs or side gigs like jobs through Gig Pro. I recommend that for those of you who are not familiar with the app. Gig Pro is an app where you could look up jobs in your area, where it's mainly restaurants, hotel services, just gigs where they need people for like a day or two. It's like a monopoly and it's a lottery on top of that. Basically, when you apply, even after setting up your resume, your application and all that, right? Like basically setting up your profile, when you apply to any of the gigs, it's first come, first serve, and they always pick the best first. And if the best doesn't respond, they go for the candidates that they could get. And it's only during events and whenever it's busy. That's the only thing I don't like about Gig Pro. Okay? Or, Gig Jobs. I believe the app name is Gig Pro or Gig Jobs. I'm going to link the app and pin it in the comment section to give you guys a heads up with this. This may help some of you who does not want to do any Ubers or DoorDash, because I'm just going to be real. I used to do DoorDash and Uber Eats. It's not a fun experience. It's a wear and tear on your car. Me personally, I don't think it's worth it. Okay, I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather do gig jobs. If you have a main 9-to-5 job, ask for some overtime. Save more money in your pocket. You're gonna have to eat less out. Budget more to save more. Watch where your money is going. Watch your credit and do what you're supposed to do. If the area that you're living in, the rent is going up, find an area within your county where you live in. That way you don't have to go to a different county depending on the state that you live in. Look out for a county where it's still a 30-40 minute convenience away from your job, away from stores, and away from supermarkets or wherever you need to be, even if it's a little further out. If you find something a lot cheaper, it's convenient to your pockets and it's convenient to your savings. I'm just making this video to give you guys a warning and some advice. This may be the last video where I'm going to give this type of advice, because with how this economy is going in America, times is getting hard, things are changing, and places are becoming more expensive. It is not just Los Angeles, it's not just Las Vegas, Nevada, it's not just the major cities that you hear on social media that are becoming super expensive. It's other places that are very nice, very convenient, safe neighborhoods that people probably never thought about or never knew existed because they didn't do their research. It's neighborhoods that are very nice, kept up with, that are also increasing in rent. And on top of that, there's a demand in the house market. A lot of people now all of a sudden are moving down to South Carolina. The state of South Carolina, more people are moving down here from New York City, from Florida, from California, because the cost is cheaper. It's cheaper to live here. The rent is cheaper, but now the rent is going up on top of that in many places, because a lot of people are going to these places, and on top of that, a lot of things that's going up as well. It's marketing, it's demand, and it's common sense. Almost anywhere where it's very nice, convenient, safe neighborhood, great school system, those places where they're building nicer places, nicer stores, buildings, that's a clear sign. If they're upgrading in your area, that's a clear sign that the rent is going to be going up. And they're going to be planning to not just push the poor out, but push the minimum wage workers out as well. Go for a career that's in demand, and that's going to make you a lot of money as soon as you get your degree and you get your stuff together. If you don't want to go down the college route, go down the trade school route. If you don't want to go down the trade school route, there's other options that you may find valuable to you. Everyone's lifestyle is different, but your lifestyle, sometimes you're going to have to cut back, especially if it's in the means to survive and have something to eat and have a roof over your head at the end of the day. times is getting hard and it's getting real out here. Okay? My rent went up. I already got a plan. I'm not staying down here for long. I already have plans to move out of the area that I'm living in and staying within the county that I'm living in now, in Dorchester County of Summerville, South Carolina. I have to remain in the same county because my kids go to this county, go to the school within the same county as well. Okay? So it's convenient for me and my wife, and it works for our children and us as well. You just got to think smart, think outside the box, use the mind that you got, and use the brain and the wisdom that God blessed us with, okay? I wish the best for anybody out there who's going through a lot of trouble. If your rent went up, I'm praying that God takes care of you as well, and you just think smart and think outside the box. Anyways, guys, that's all I got to say. It's a wrap here. This is Casual Talk here. If any one of you has any comments that you'd like to share in the comments down below, feel free to talk. We could talk it out. Any advice you want to ask for me, you know, feel free to ask me any questions, anything out of your convenience. I don't mind. I'll respond back as quick as possible, okay? Anyways, guys, Casual Talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.